So we're going to learn today how to take the blood. There's two ways to take the blood, the sample. There's Dr. Bradford and Dr. Drouin's way, and then there's another way. So we're going to do Dr. Drouin's way today. So I will take my volunteer. Okay, there you go. Volunteer.
Did you want to go?
No.
Everybody wants to.
Everybody wants to
We
go.
might do two. If I do another one, I'll do your blood.
Yeah.
Okay, because you did volunteer.
I might see a different.
Yes. All right. Okay. So are you? Do you know your blood type? What are you?
O negative.
O negative. Do you all know your blood type?
Yeah.
Pretty much. Are you following the diet for your blood type? Just
No.
curiosity, no? Okay. We might talk about it during that class. All right. So I wear some gloves, of course, for my protection. And I'm wearing a lab coat, and I have a story about that. It is recommended to wear a lab coat when you do live blood analysis because sometimes the blood squirt out of the finger. So yesterday I didn't wear my coat at all, and I've seen the blood squirting only one time in my whole career. But today I decided to wear it. So the first person I did the blood squirt. So thankfully it went on my tissue here, but I had one little droplet here. So it is recommended to enclose it. Your blood is not going to squirt. Huh?
It's going to behave itself.
It's going to behave? Okay. So if there's no blood on your glove, you can reuse them, which I will do today. It's for your protection. Doesn't do anything for the client because not every client tell you if they have, HIV or if they have, hepatitis C or anything like that. So we did have surprise to learn after we took the blood. Oh, by the way, so yes. All right, that sounds good. Okay, so we start with a clean finger.
I see.
So come a little bit closer. So I will take a little alcohol swab, which one school recommend to use that, and the other school say don't use any alcohol because it, for parasite, it feeds parasite and all that. But one of my students yesterday said that maybe we could use colloidal silver. That would work really, really good, but I don't have it, so I will use alcohol scrub. The other school of how to take the blood say to just wipe the finger you're going to use. So we can use any finger will do. Some people are concerned about the meridian, so that will be the heart meridian, and this is a finger if you want to see more emotion. So, but really any finger will do. So today, depending on if you are right hand or left hand, what are you? Okay, so I will take your left hand. Just because I'm considering that you use this hand, and so okay, so put your hand on the side. So usually, I take the blood from the side of the finger because the pad is very sensitive. That's where all the nerves are. So I'll take the blood from there. So we use individual lancet. So now I'm going to twist them a little bit. All right, so I'm going to use that finger here and I have to twist that so I can. So a little poke, relax your finger, take a deep breath. Sorry. So we don't pressurize the finger to get the blood. We let the blood come on its own like this. Sometimes we open it a bit. And this is really good. I don't know if everybody see. That makes a nice little round ball. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Our blood is not runny on the side, which will show deficiency, maybe a bit of iron deficiency, maybe kidney issue. So I will start by taking the dry blood. So taking the dry blood involves taking 6 to 8 droplets, and we lightly touch the finger. I will take 8. Turn it around and let it dry. Now I will take the live blood. So we take the live blood with a cover slip, and we let the blood jump on the cover slip. We don't touch the finger. Sorry, take my time because I don't have good light here. There we go. And we put it between on a slide, just like that. So it has spread, as you can see. The blood has spread there. So that's good. We want the blood to spread like that. I want to show you something that I think is important. Because if you look at the blood that has spread on the slide, I took 2 little droplets, right? And you see in the middle it's darker. This is where the 2 droplets meet. So I will not look at the blood there, because there the blood will be more thicker, more clump. So I will look where the blood is more sparse. That's going to be the best blood. This is something that some blood analysts have been guilty of, looking at the worst area on the blood, the slide. Okay, so I'm going to turn around.
I can go.
You can go.
Thank you.
Put your blood under the microscope. And we're going to have a look. And what is very interesting is that today the last person, I think I told some of you, Randall, came, and when I took his blood, he asked if he could pray for his blood and if we could all intend for his blood. And the blood moved. 3 times. The blood did not do a big movement. It did not jerk and reorganize itself, but it did a little quivering like that. That was very interesting.
That's a lesson
Yes.
in itself.
Yeah. Okay. What is your name?
Barbara?
Barbara. You can try if you want. But one thing about intending for the blood, our observation is that we have an intention, but we cannot make the blood move. It's like we can have an intention for the blood, but it doesn't move when you want it. It's not a mental action. That's what I'm saying. He was praying for his blood, so he was in another dimension, he was in another place in his mind, but he was not really in his mental, like an exercise of will to make the blood move, because that usually do not work. Here.
Cool.
All right. So this is your blood. It's moving. That's very good. The movement in the blood is very important. We don't want the blood to be just, stationary on the slide. The movement shows you vitality. It's very important. So the perfect picture of blood is when every red blood cell is side by side, the same size, not overlapping, and not clumping like we see now. Did you just eat? Did you had lunch?
Yeah.
Yes. What did you eat? Just so I know.
I was down at the sushi bar. I had some fish in it.
Okay.
And a bit of rice
All
and
right.
seaweed.
Okay. So your blood is a bit stressed at the moment. It's not the perfect picture.
That's what
I
you wanted, right?
Yeah, I want to have, but I expect that more, because we've been 3 days, not at home, and the blood do respond to nutrition and all that, right? So I expect we're going to see the blood a little bit more stress, and it's not just because of diet. You have signs in your blood that are showing that your digestion is not ideal at the moment. The rouleau, when the blood stacked together, one on top of the other. Many times that happen when you eat fast, you don't take your time. Mm-hmm. The blood is very sensitive, and it will respond to, especially when we eat. Mm-hmm. We will have a hard time to digest if we don't take the time, to eat and chew and all that. It shows also there's a certain amount of clumping there, right? Mm. And when they stack together as rouleau, it often a sign that the person is really in the mental, really thinking, really in high beta level, studying, getting information that will qualify. Worry is a big one. People who have some worry, they have issue they are dealing with. But I won't go too much into that because we're going to try to find a better area. Oh, look at that. So this is a better area here. We're going to look at the white blood cell because what I want to look at in the blood, I want to see the red blood cell. So every one of these circles is a red blood cell, just for people who don't know what we're looking at. So the red blood cell have no cell nucleus, they have no DNA, their only job is to carry oxygen and carbon dioxide. So they are pure servant. We want to see white blood cell, like this one, like this. The white blood cell are part of the immune system. And actually your blood is pretty good here. I open it in the bad area, but this is very good. So forget about what I said before. We are in the area that I want to see. Because when we look at the blood, we want to go where the white blood cells are. We don't want to see where the red blood cells are clumping together. So that's pretty good. So let's have a look. Let me look everywhere to see what we will see. Just to look for few indication. This morning we saw a parasite. It was very interesting. We saw a bit of plaque. But again, I'm very sorry, your blood is very boring. I'm sorry to tell you that. Boring is good. If I tell a client his blood or a blood is boring, it's a good idea. I suspect, though, I have to tell you, I don't know if you're vegetarian, if you eat red meat or not.
My iron is low, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
your B12 as well.
And my B12.
Your B12,
yeah.
yes.
I am mostly vegetarian.
Yes.
And I give blood and they mostly turn me away because my iron's
Yes,
low.
yes, I
Yeah.
can see that in your blood here. The red blood cells should all be the same size.
Okay.
So when they are smaller, it's usually a lack of iron, and when they are larger, it's a lack of B12. And it occurs a lot in the blood of all blood type who don't eat any red meat.
Yeah.
Right, but I cannot tell you you have anemia. I can tell you the sign that your iron is low or your B12 is low, but I cannot diagnose anything. So it's very
I don't eat
important.
red meat, yeah.
Yes, so we cannot diagnose. These are your white blood cells, and I keep an eye on them because they are all a bit hypersegmented. So that means that there might be some issue with the immune system at the moment, a little bit. It's because they are hypersegmented.
How do you
Given
know
that
she's
our-
low B and anemic? How'd you know that?
Well, no, I cannot say she's anemic.
Well, how did you know that she was?
I have to be very careful. The
The
side of the red blood cell. The red blood cell, they have a certain size and they carry iron and oxygen. So when they are too small, they don't carry enough iron. But you might go to a test at the lab and they might say that everything is okay. Because at the lab they weight your blood and you might have enough red blood cell to compensate and everything. So this is why looking at the live blood is qualitative. It's a qualitative measurement. We do not measure quantity. We don't do that.
And what was the term you used regarding the white blood cells? I didn't quite
Oh,
understand
they are broken up a bit. So, but I have to look
The fact that I
everywhere.
was flying for 14 hours and in airports for 17 hours, does that probably has an effect on my white blood cells?
Yes, yes. That's why, that's why I hesitate to tell too
Yeah.
much at the moment, because at my office I have a questionnaire. People sign, disclaimer, and they answer a lot of questions. So, and I do iridology before, so I already know a little bit about the genetics, and they will share what are the main symptoms and what's going on with the bowel, the digestion. And now I mainly want to show you a few things in the blood. That's what we're doing. So sometimes we see some red blood cells that are, they do the infinity sign a little bit. They link, we call that protein linkage. And this is again digestion, an issue with digestion. When I do a consultation, if the client is really sick, I ask them to fast overnight. And otherwise, I ask them to fast for 3 to 4 hours. because what you eat will really influence
Yeah.
what we see in your blood.
Dr. Blackburn, what are those floaty bits in the back that look like stars?
The what? Pardon?
Tiny
Floaty
little
bits.
dots.
The tiny
those-
little
Yes,
dots.
so
Yeah.
this the little snowflake dancing around? Yeah.
Yeah.
This is another very important element in the blood, and that shows you nutrition. The larger little snowflake are related to glucose, and the smaller one to lipid. So when they are bigger, much bigger, that might mean that your proteins, so people who took the course know what that means, have a reserve of sugar, too much sugar reserve to feed higher form of bacteria. So that's what it might mean.
Thank you.
All right. So now we are in an area that we call I call the graveyard. And this is at the edge of the drop. And this is where I see if there's any bacteria, progression of bacteria related to pleomorphism. I would see, if there is, I would see some little wiggly little worm. I don't see that anywhere. So it's pretty, your blood is pretty clean. Everything is important in the blood, and even this area here. So now we're going to go back to a better area. All right. So this, some live blood analysts will tell you that these little colloid tissue here are related to issue with the yeast. They are a sign of yeast, which I don't want to diagnose anything, but could be related to candida or things like that, this little colloidal tissue. What is certain is that these little balls here, they feed on these protein here that are undigested. Okay, this is also very important, that one that is circulating there. So to go back to, I will talk a bit about quantum entanglement, okay, because that's very important, and this is what I want to talk the most. This blood here that I see under the microscope is still attached to you. You still entangled to that
Yes.
blood, because it's a principle of non-locality, right? So it means that whatever you think, let's say that you look at your blood, and like Randall has done, right? And you say, oh my gosh, look at that, I have that sign, and oh, now I know, I get it. I have a sudden insight. You will see your blood showing this. You will see a movement in your blood. And that's what happened with Randall. It was just a little quiver, but that happened. So that's called quantum entanglement. Einstein called that spooky action at a distance. Yes. And that's what I saw when I went with Dr. Dispenza in Carefree last. Do you know Dr. Dispenza?
Yeah.
You all took his course, and he gives some. He has some sessions, some weekends for his meditator, his top-notch meditator, and for weekends, so people go there and they have 3-hour meditation. So they brain map them while they do the meditation, and we took their blood, put them under the microscope, closed that, and for 3 hours we record the whole session. So after the 3-hour session, they will look at the brain wave, because it was on the clock, you know, there was a timer, and I had a timer on my blood, and we saw that there was a correlation. The very first one that we brain map, and we did the blood at the same time, when he reached a high amplitude, the blood moved at the same time. So they were really impressed there, because that's something very special that really proved that we are really master of our health, the way we think, the way we feel, influence our blood. All that to tell you that we see some blood type that are teardrop shape. And this, for a long time, I thought that it was related to sadness, to, the first client that I saw with the teardrop shape like that, she told me that she was taking care of her husband who was disabled, and she was sad about the whole situation. And as she was telling me that, their blood changed. Their blood move and all the red blood cells became round. And later on, I read in an article by Bruce Lipton, and he correlate the teardrop shape to sadness. So I don't know you, like I said, I don't have any intake, I don't know you, but this is what we see here in the blood, the teardrop shape. In her case, Linda, as soon as she realized that, she knew that the main reason that she was feeling the way she was feeling was related to being burdened by the weight of responsibility that she felt. And that realization really was key for her. So feel free to share anything you want. All right. Okay, so we're going to stop there, and I'll take the blood of somebody else. Because I don't give a consultation, I just want you to say. Anybody else would have exciting blood?
You go ahead if you want.
You want? Okay. All right.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. All right.
I'm right-handed, so I'll
You're very
offer my-
tender.
Yeah.
Are you a B blood type?
A negative.
A negative?
Yeah.
The best is to be positive. Be positive is the best. Any B today? No B, huh, that class? You no? Oh. I have a lot of joke about bees, so I won't be able to say them today.
You can tell us anyway.
Well, no, that's okay. I'll talk about the A's then.
Oh, the A's.
So who else is A blood type? Who else is A blood type here? Okay, and everybody else is O? Great. Okay. AB? Okay. A blood type, they first of all, they don't do good with red meat, so that's the first thing they should avoid. But O blood type do good with red meat, and it's a good idea to have that in their diet. But now we have a problem, because most people do not want to kill any flesh, right, any animal. So we have many O blood type who refuse totally to have any red meat, and so that's could be a problem with their blood. So they have to find a way to get the iron and the B12 and the L-tyrosine for the thyroid gland in their diet, because there's no way that these people will ever eat red meat. So there's that aspect, and the other aspect is to make sure that the friendly bacteria in the bowel is balanced, that the bowel works really good, because the friendly bacteria will produce a lot of the Bs. So that will solve the problem of lack of B12 and everything.
Yeah.
That's why everybody in India is vegetarian. Nobody eats cow. Nobody will eat a beef.
We can have lot of argument on this issue.
Okay, no, I don't want to have argument.
Yeah.
But my take was that everybody was vegetarian. The Muslim eat goat and sheep, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, it's not matter of religion. I believe that once you're vegetarian, you are deficient. So if you're deficient, it means this is not your ideal diet. You're not designed to have this kind of diet.
Yes, so that's a big
Vegetarian and
controversy.
deficient, yeah.
Like you say, it's a big controversy.
Yeah.
I try not to go too much into that field because it's a landmine. And I had a group where I went a little bit, and there was somebody that was, I will never eat any red meat. Forget about it, lady. So I was like, okay, then you can eat blackstrap molasses and have some eggs. No, I don't eat eggs anymore. So, but his blood was lacking. His blood was lacking.
Yeah.
What about her? She's AB.
AB blood type is probably the blood type that is best suited to be vegetarian, because beef and chicken is according to the expert, not the best for them.
I'm sorry, I have to speak up. She just
Okay.
called me out.
Okay, all right.
So I am pro-negative, but I find you the same problem with digestion. If I eat red meat, I have a problem with digestion.
It's very possible. You might be a O that does not have enough hydrochloric acid in the stomach. You might eat meat and starch, which do not work good together, and it might be that your issue is not with the meat, but it's with the starch.
I eat very little starch. I
Okay.
do low carb, but today
Yes.
there was rice, obviously, with
Yes.
that lunch.
Mm-hmm.
But I eat very little starch and very little sugar.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of go high fat, medium protein, low carb.
What do you do for iron?
I do eat eggs.
Eggs?
I eat eggs 2 a
Yes.
day. Yeah.
But you remember your blood
On the
showed that it
farm,
was a
yeah.
bit deficient,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
It might be ICL, I think, hydrochloric acid.
Sometimes it's a lack of
Yeah.
hydrochloric
Yeah,
acid
yeah.
in the
I
stomach.
take probiotics.
Yeah. Yeah, because not everybody is pure O or pure A or pure
Yeah.
B. That's why we use it in our practice, but we're not religious about that, right?
Yeah.
The best is to listen to our body.
Yeah.
Our body is the best biofeedback device there is.
Yes.
So that usually, the worst is when we eat because of our mind.
Yes.
When it's the mind that decides, you read an article and then that's it, you're convinced in your mind. That doesn't really work. But if we're intuitive and we listen to our body, when we show the chart of the blood type to intuitive people, they look and they say, oh, look at that, I don't eat that and I don't eat that already. And they know A blood type usually are not attracted to red meat. That's just the way it is. Okay, so are you ready?
Yeah.
Take a deep breath. Actually, before you all came, we were joking with these two gentlemen that we're going to take the blood from the jugular here with a big long needle, and we'll take only 1 liter. So that's why I think when you volunteered, didn't say anything because it was not sure if it was going to be like that. Now he volunteers because he knows that we take it from the finger. So this time I'm going to take only the live blood because I will not do the dry blood. So, but you all know that according to the Bradford method, we start with the dry blood, okay? But I won't do that now. So that went really good. Your blood was very, oops. Are you still bleeding?
Yeah, you can have another one.
I'll take another one because I messed up this one. Okay, we'll do another one. Okay. So the blood is spreading. Very good. We're going to put it under the microscope. Try to keep our work area clean. Oh, different picture. You have a different picture here. Here we go. So again, the blood is moving, the red blood cells are moving. So this is good. We want to see that because it for sure, there's not too much obstruction in the plasma of the blood. So the red blood cells, they are in suspension in the plasma of the blood, right? And this is why we see movement of consciousness in the blood. And I'll tell you how it works. So Dr. Paul this morning mentioned a little bit about the pituitary gland and the pineal and all that are situated right there in the middle of our brain. And these glands have a special name in Greek. So they have a special name. And when I saw their name, I had a sudden inspiration that they were related to the 3 Greek goddesses that you hear about in the Greek mythology, the 3 Graces, who were the assistant of Aphrodite, the goddess of love. So one of their name is Aglaé, where we get the word Lee. The other one is Ephrosyne, where you get the word euphoria. And the other one means bridal chamber. And for me, that was very evocative, that whole thing. So you see these 3 goddesses, these 3 glands that produce hormones. And these goddesses were the assistant of the goddess of love, right? So you have the relationship between the brain and the heart right there. And they produce nectar and ambrosia and elixir, all very special, liquid nectar of immortality and youth. So for me, this happened in this area, in the bridal chamber. So that's the connection between the heart and the brain. There's no doubt in my mind now that the 2 are connected. So right there, these glands, they produce when we are meditating, when we get in that high level of consciousness, higher amplitude of the brain, these glands secrete the secretion, their hormone, which imprint the cerebrospinal fluid that bat this special area. And I'll make you a little schema here because I think that it really works good. So you have the brain here that is something like that. I'm not very good in drawing. And you have your three glands that are here in the middle. And you have here two, you call that the ventricles. They're right in the middle of the brain. And this ventricule, they take blood, they rarefy it, and it becomes cerebrospinal fluid.
Oh.
It's very special. So the cerebrospinal fluid is a rarefication of the blood. It's the plasma, the same plasma that you see there. So now you meditate, you really inspire, your blood is shaking, you're talking about perfect health, thinking about health or whatever, right? Whatever inspires you. The cerebrospinal becomes imprinted with that higher vibration. And then it will eventually go back to become your blood. So now I'm looking at the blood, and it's the plasma that will be imprinted. And that current has the power to move the red blood cell, to change their structure and everything. That's, I think, is the best explanation on why is the blood such a special fluid, such a quantic fluid. Of course, I took about 10 minutes telling you that, but it happened like that. And that's your quantum moment there. You know, that's your sudden insight. When Brendan, his name, this morning, when he was praying for his blood, he just mentioned that he was going to pray for his blood, and right away the blood was moving. That was a really good demonstration for the group. So I think this is how it happened. And we are going more and more toward that. Because in the world, the history of our history as human beings, there's chakra that have opened during our evolution. First, we were all in the survival chakra, right? The lower chakra, survival. Time was hard. We did not have fire. We did not know the wheel. Then we know the fire, we know the wheel, we become artistic, so we go up one chakra, we make sculpture, we write on cave, whatever. Then we have a family unit, mother's love, and everything from the solar plexus start to be developed. 2,000 years ago, something very special happened again. The heart chakra of the universe was open. And that's what some people say that Christ did, open collectively. The heart chakra was suddenly open, right, for the energy of love and everything. And now we are in the throat. Hello, we're doing a lot of throat chakra, opening and everything because we teach, you all have clients, or you all want to help humanity. And the next and very final step, I think, will be this center. And that's happening now. It's really happening with the meditation, what Dr. Paul did this morning, which was very powerful. Did you find it?
Yes.
Was super powerful. So, and that's really the last. And when that happened, I think that the blood will become restored. The blood will find its initial coding, because we mess up now, but we were not supposed to be messed up. Something happened somewhere. I talk about that in another course. I won't go into that. But we're very messed up. But when we will, by our own effort, our own openness, have all that center open, the blood is going to show it. I think that we won't have any more blood anymore. It's going to be more, the initial coding will be floating in our vein there. That's what I think. But now to go back to this blood here. So that's your blood, no?
Yeah.
Okay. So we want to see every red blood cell perfectly round. That's the best, right? And you notice your red blood cells are not completely round. So they're hemolyzing faster. They're losing their shape, their integrity, which could be a sign that you're lacking good oil, the omega-3. If you are O blood type, the omega-3, the oil is very important for O blood type. They need it maybe more than any other blood type. So O blood type needs some form of red meat, or something that will supply the B12, B6, iron, and the thing, that amino acid,
Iodine.
L-tyrosine.
And,
L-tyrosine for the thyroid gland. So they have to find a way, if it's not through red meat. They need the kelp, they need the sea vegetable, very important, again for the thyroid gland, and they need the good oil. So the red blood cells are a little bit deformed, so that means that they're dying very fast. Sometimes it has another meaning. I don't really want to talk about that with the group here because I don't know if you're okay with that or whatever. But the blood cells are losing their shape and they're going to disintegrate within 4 or 5 hours, right? The white blood cell, again, is not very active at the moment. I don't know what's going on, but almost all the group, it's very rare that I saw a white blood cell really active. I don't know if everybody's immune system is a little bit depressed, if you're more tired or if it's the jet lag. Somebody asked me about traveling. Did you say that? About traveling, right? So I'm wondering if it does not have any, you know.
You've also travelled from London.
Yeah.
Yes. So I'm wondering if it does not have an influence on the white blood cell. And now your blood is not moving anymore. It's normal because you don't have any oxygen going in your bloodstream anymore. So let's have a look. Oh, I'll look in there. The plasma of your blood is quite clear. Oh, but let's have a look at that here. Okay, so this is capillary plugs, you call that. It's related to plaque.
cholesterol.
Yes, there's cholesterol mixed with dead red blood cell, dead white blood cell, calcium. So that's a little bit of plaque. But I'm not saying that your arteries are plugged. I'm not saying that because for this to have an influence on your arteries, you would have to have something else with it. You would have to have some line here, which are called fillet. People who have taken Dr. Paul know what that is. Fibrin, fillet, they're line like that. They're an inflammation process. If we don't see that in the blood, we think that you might do better with your fat and everything. But I don't think that there is anything more to be said about that. And I see only one, right? In the blood, it's all about number. And that's about what I see the most. We're gonna go over here. Oh, this is very serious.
Oh, what is this?
It's a air bubble. It's just a air bubble. Don't worry. You knew what it was, huh? Yeah, she was laughing. Yeah. It's a air bubble. We're in the graveyard again, where I see if there's any higher form of the bacteria, that pleomorphism acid and synacid and other things. So I think that's what we're going to say with your blood. We're going to stop there. So as I go, I look how many white blood cells you have. I don't really count them, but we do that for a long time so we can assess if you have enough. You don't have very many white blood cells.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not sick, it's okay.
Yes.
Yes.
It means low immunity.
If you're not fighting anything, it's okay. Why should you have too many policemen in your street if there's nothing to deal with? So that's okay. There's 5 different types of white blood cells. So I don't want to see the other one, right? And I don't see them now. So what we want to see is mainly the neutrophil. This type here, this one. But it's like the policeman is sleeping in his car at the moment. Not going anywhere. There's a few little lymphocytes there on the side. There's another one there. Yeah, there's a few lymphocytes showing. Yeah, a few lymphocytes in this area. This one there. Are you feeling anything? Are you fighting a cold?
No.
Do you have no infection, nothing?
No.
Yeah, it's difficult. Like I say, the circumstance of me looking at you guys' blood is different. You all have jet lag, most of you, at least 2-3 hours, and 2-3 days that you eat all kind of food. So I don't really want to draw any conclusion
Yeah,
because
that's-
of that.
Yeah.
We don't want to draw. I just want to point out, just as curiosity, just to show you.
Can we see the air bubble again?
You wanna take picture?
See, there's one there. Here we go.
So if someone has
Now,
a
how
leaky
does
gut,
it-
what does
what-
that look like?
I will see some pteroarpen. It's called pteroarpen in the blood. I will see some gray little undigested by protein with little wings or little bacteria feeding from it. So that's called pteroarpen. And I didn't see that at all in 2 days. So do we have time for another one? I'm on a roll.
Yeah,
Yeah.
somebody go?
Are you
I'll do
there?
the dried
You
one.
go.
You do? All right.
Hello.
What's your name?
Deborah,
Deborah. And where are you from?
Florida.
Florida. Oh, so you have jet lag? 3
Well,
hours?
Six.
Oh, no, 6 hours.
6.
Oh, wow, 6 hours.
I think yeah.
That's
We
a
were,
lot.
we were waking up at like 3 o'clock in the morning every day. So happy.
Okay, so let's take a deep breath. You did good. Okay, so we don't have a bleeder here. We have to be patient. It's okay, you can give me a little bit of blood. You have enough to, to
You
spare
can
the
have
cup.
it.
Thank you. Don't worry, the survival rate is very high with this procedure.
With losing this much blood.
Yes. Thank you. That's beautiful. Okay, so that has spread very well. Put a bit of peroxide. Okay, all right. So we have a few little groups here.
Yeah, I know, it's amazing, isn't it? 69 by what, did you say by 8 by 18?
Yeah, you get the same one like you get decaf like 11
Oh,
times
yeah.
or something, but it's not even a live virus, which is 69 by 28.
Okay, so we have another picture here. We have some very nice long rouleau, long strand rouleau there. They're very plump, so I'm not too worried. Because sometimes they get squeezed when there's a lot of stress. When a person is very stressed,
Oh, I've been very stressed.
they get even squeezed. They're very tight. You see the red blood cell very squeezed, and that could become a circulation issue. But at the moment, all I see here is worry. Beta brainwave being attached to a thought. That's where
Oh, they had a
that's where
hurricane.
meditation will.
Well, her house is boarded up.
Oh, yeah.
What happened?
Oh, they had a hurricane in Florida.
Yes,
like,
that's
right-
true.
Yeah, it was right where my house was, but everything's good, so. Plus I'm flying to Maui on Sunday, getting married.
She's getting
Congratulations!
Went last night, just missed the hurricane.
Okay, there's something that doesn't work. Your red blood cells should be happy if you're getting married.
Well, now I'm happy.
You
After all
might
the
have to
stress is gone.
reconsider the whole thing. That's what I see.
Don't say that. I am happy.
Okay, all right. So, but that's what I see there. The main thing is that worry, that digestion is not to the optimal and everything. But like I say, I cannot diagnose. We never diagnose, but I don't want to say too much because circumstances and
Is it
everything.
that way? Stomach was
Is
in
that
knots
way
for
all
2 days.
over?
Pardon me?
Is it the same all over the slide?
Yes. I can do something and
I think that's pretty.
I'm going to tap it a little bit,
My worry
okay?
is pretty.
We're going to try to entice them
Separate them.
to separate.
I like that.
It's something we do sometimes.
What about a group intention?
A what?
A group
Yeah,
intention.
can we do now?
A group intention.
You
for
guys
Deborah.
decide what you want to do.
Oh, I like
Brendan
that.
did not ask me my permission. You can do what you want.
Group
Go ahead.
intention.
Well, what are you gonna intend first?
Look, it's better
And
now.
she's happy and
Happy,
relaxed.
yeah.
Yes.
We declump them a little bit. That's what they look like.
Wow.
So when the blood is rouleau, we do that. Because it might be that I touch your finger very slightly and I stress your red blood cell.
Or you talked about vaccinations right before you took it?
Yes. So you still have some rouleau, but you have movement and it's more
Nice,
declump, right?
nice. That's amazing.
And all of you have really nice red blood cell, round, and sometimes the red blood cell look like prune and they have different shape and they're flat or huge, or most of everybody that I've seen as, we can tell they're doing their best with their nutrition. They're trying. But I see, you see all the snowflake dancing, right? So that's the result of what you ate for your lunch. So you're not finished digesting everything. It's still in your blood.
A lot of sugar floating.
So I
It's normal.
Yeah.
It's normal. It's totally normal. For all the way to maybe 3 or 4 hours after a meal, we see that. If we see that after 4 or 5 hours, that might be because the sugar has a tendency to be more elevated. But that's totally normal. You had no sugar at all, huh? Not so much, huh?
Well, there was the fat molecule, the lipid molecules, they
Okay.
were smaller than that, those
Yes.
little dots, weren't
Mhm.
they?
Yes.
Yeah, there was a bit.
This is sugar and fat, so I know that you had something greasy or fatty in your diet, for
And
sure.
what's the blood cell with a little dot in the middle?
Yes, this is interesting. A red blood cell is concave like that, right? So sometimes the blood is right flat here. So you see the little concavity, right? Because it's flat on the slide. So you see that little concavity there. If it will be greener, and I would see more of that, it's called target cell. I didn't see anybody with that, and that would be the sign of somebody who is really at the sucker punch in the solar plexus, really in the solar plexus. It's related also to the spleen or the liver, but I didn't see anybody with that.
I observed a few times in a clinic
Yes?
that does live blood cell analysis.
Yes?
And they used to tell everybody that all the snowflake stuff is actually bacteria.
What?
So I'm not curious.
No? It has the potential, if the terrain is very, very dysregularity, to develop, to get stronger, right? Because everything is about survival, right? So they want to, they feed from bacteria and everything, and they get stronger. And when you die, sorry to tell you that, don't put your finger in your ear if you don't want to hear that. But it's not the maggot and all those things. They don't come from the outside. You don't say it it's the inside. This is what actually bring us back to dust and does its job in the cycle of life. And
Microzyme.
yes, the microzyme of Béchamp. Huh? Yes. So a little plaque here, but nothing unusual.
What's that blue thing? What was that?
That's a bit of plaque. A bit of plaque. Everything looks blue today. Let me turn that down.
Doesn't it? It's like-
So you have some very nice elongate rouleau, right? That is related again to stress and everything. So I don't think I can answer question if you have questions. Oh, we see a little bit of the little needle starting to show.
The little one?
The needles,
What's that?
I'll show you.
Oh, those.
The little inflammation sign here, this tiny little needle there.
Blind.
They relate sometimes to inflammation, migraine headache, colitis, arthritis, things like that. You don't have a lot of it, right? I don't think that there's any problem. I'm just showing to everybody. And that's about all.